This is insane. The Knicks could be seeking to reunite with former Knick Donte DiVincenzo. According to reports, during the year, the Knicks trade plans had them bringing back Donte DiVincenzo this offseason. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, about 52% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications on as well too. If you want to support the channel, the easiest way to do that is to hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. The Knicks want Donte DiVincenzo to return to New York. One player the fans never wanted to see leave the team was Donte DiVincenzo. I remember the trade to Minnesota like it was yesterday. And oddly enough, in that trade, we lost Julius Randle, who was with the Knicks for a much longer time. But after that trade went down, many Knicks fans were more upset that Donte DiVincenzo was included in that deal. And to be honest, the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns does not happen if DiVincenzo is not part of the deal. However, according to the latest reports, New York had plans to always bring back Donte DiVincenzo to this team. Let's break down these latest reports from NBA insider Chris Persiani. Shout out to Chris Persiani on the app X for giving us this following information here. According to him, had heard around New Year's that the Knicks had internal discussions about a potential reunion with Donte DiVincenzo in this upcoming offseason. But aside from things changing, as they tend to, Jeremy makes a good case for why you can consider that unlikely. But even though it's unlikely, it's not impossible. And remember, the report is speaking about the Knicks bringing Donte DiVincenzo back this offseason, which technically has not started yet. I want to remind everybody that Donte DiVincenzo still has 2 years left on his contract, which will pay him about $24.4 million. His current team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, could feel maxed out after another Western Conference Finals loss and could look to shake things up for next year. Minnesota has to figure out what to do with free agent Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as well as Naz Reid and Mike Conley, who will be free agents next summer. Perhaps the Timberwolves get overwhelmed, and if they do, maybe they ship DiVincenzo back to New York for a mini reset. This is a possibility, not a guarantee. Chances are unlikely, though, for a ton of reasons, specifically his contract at the moment. I think a reunion doesn't happen right now. However, if you're asking me potentially in the future, or if DiVincenzo gets traded for, let's say, Kevin Durant or another player, at that point in time, could I see the Knicks swooping in and trying to get DiVincenzo back on the team? Absolutely. But it's going to have to be in that specific situation. But even though it's unlikely, like the report stated, unlikely does not mean impossible. And to hear reports that New York had plans during New Year, during January, to bring Donte DiVincenzo back to this team, that tells you that Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they're not only thinking about the moment, they're thinking about the future, what this team needs in the future. And don't get me wrong or anything, but Donte DiVincenzo, off the bench, imagine we had a player like him during the Pacers series, coming off the bench, instant offense, can defend, can shoot the three ball, and has chemistry built with the Nova Knicks. What else did you want? What else could you utilize during the postseason? It's not hard to understand why New York wants to bring back Donte DiVincenzo. His ties to the team, his connections to the team, his connection to our superstar, Jalen Brunson, but also his fit. It's not like he can't play basketball. I want to remind everybody, he had one of the best years of his entire career playing for the Knicks, not only because of the chemistry, but because we gave him a role. We gave him time, and he was appreciated by everybody, fans, coaching staff, and players alike. Getting Donte DiVincenzo back during this offseason, adding him to the bench, that would be an incredible update. And I want to mention that trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Does everybody remember initially what the trade package was? Because Donte DiVincenzo was not part of the initial trade package. The only reason, and I want to stress this again, the only reason the Knicks included Donte DiVincenzo is because if they didn't, Karl Anthony Towns right now would not be a New York Knick. Julius Randle would still be on this team. But because the Knicks and Randle were so far off in terms of extension talks, they needed to move him. And the only way to move Randle and get an impactful player like Karl Anthony Towns was to include Donte DiVincenzo. But initially, the Knicks wanted to move Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. The plan always looked like they wanted to keep the Nova Four together. They didn't want to break up that group because clearly they worked very hard trying to get them together. Not only because of the chemistry, but they felt having that type of core would have helped them during the postseason. And maybe it would have. Unfortunately, we're not going to know right now. But who knows? In a few weeks, a few months, maybe even a year. We don't know the exact time period, but I think it's only a matter of time before New York makes a move and brings Donte DiVincenzo back to the Knicks. I mean, look at the reports again. Again, according to Chris Persiani, the Knicks had internal discussions about a potential reunion with Donte DiVincenzo this upcoming offseason. Why would that change now? What would make that change now? It's not like we don't need more help off the bench. We do. It's not like we don't need more depth pieces. We do. And it's not like the cap is preventing us from making those great upgrades, because it is. We have limited cap space. We cannot go out in free agency and sign a number of players. That type of route doesn't exist for this Knicks team. So how do we get better? How do we make this roster better than it was last year? The only way to do that, the only real way to do that is to make a trade. Now, you can make minor trades, mid-level trades, or blockbuster trades. If we're talking about blockbuster trades, we're talking about Giannis. We're talking about Kevin Durant. We're talking about superstars. If we're talking about star trades, then you can pick among the lot of the number of star players around the league. And then they're the role players or the very good players, not quite stars, but right under the level. And maybe that's where Donte DiVincenzo is. Now, why do I mention that? Because depending on what level you're at, star, role player, superstar, that's going to influence what? Cost. And Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they're averse to a cost that's too high. They're never going to play like that. If you want to do business with Leon Rose, then you have to make sure you come to the table with not only a fair offer, but an offer that makes sense logically. Because if it doesn't, Leon Rose has already shown in the past, if something looks really good, but at the last second it changes, he's going to walk away. Let me give you an example of that. A few years ago, the Knicks were this close to adding Paul George, PG-13. And that deal fell through at the last second. Why? PG-13 went like this. Oh yeah, I want an extension. Leon got off that table, walked out of that room, and we never heard about it again. That tells you that Leon, if things even change a little bit, he's not going to make the same move. However, if he can get the right deal that he wants, structured in the way that he likes, he'll make any deal. That means it's only a matter of time before they execute that deal and bring DiVincenzo back. And once that happens, I am going to lose my mind. That's an addition that we need. It's a winning move. And everybody in New York would welcome DiVincenzo back with open arms. We never wanted to trade him. We never wanted to see him go. So him coming back to the Knicks, that reunion will be the most lit reunion in the city. I promise you. All New York needs to do is make it happen. And in that front office, we have Leon Rose. Trust me when I say, if Donte DiVincenzo was ever going to come back to this team, the person I want in charge making that deal is Leon Rose. And thankfully, we have everything in order. Now all it takes is a phone call, a trade, and a deal to happen. But what about you guys? What do you think about these reports suggesting that the Knicks had internal discussions to bring back Donte DiVincenzo this offseason? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.